Hello and welcome to your East vs. Charles in the Sky Alternative Saga character Overlook guide. Today we'll be talking about Loewe. Loewe is a character that is unlocked with having 16,500 BP, so they're going to be pretty hard to grind up. Luckily we have a guide in the comment section to help you grind up this level of BP, so go ahead and follow that. If you are interested in a mid-range character based on with punishing and playing as a heavy with an intermediate learning difficulty, with high stats, good neutral, and incredible punish game, this might be your character. We're going to go ahead and go right into free mode so that we can go ahead and go into training mode. We'll go ahead and do that right now. Go ahead and take stuff that I do with like combos as a grain of salt, because the game is going to be in 60 FPS in the re-release, and I'm not exactly the best at this game, so bear with me, but I will try my best to show off Loewe as best as possible. We're going to go ahead and start with his ground normals. His ground normal link is pretty decent. It hits 3 times, 1, 2, 3. The hits itself do not combo too well to each other. However, each individual hit hits a very wide range that's honestly pretty good to throw out. The first hit is pretty quick and is a good anti-air, which you can abuse a lot. It also can be comboed into some of his skills for really good damage. And his C, which is going to be his third hit, 1, 2, 3, has a lot of defensive utility because of how wide it is around him. Pretty good. It's not used that often due to being at the end of the normal link, so it can be taking a lot longer to come out. Next is going to be his charge attack, which is the crux of his neutral. It gives pretty little SP on hit. Its projectile properties make it an incredible poke with excellent range, though. He can use it to establish his presence in neutral while building SP for his next punish. It's pretty good. Goes from across the stage. The projectile lasts for a good 11 frames, so whenever it goes to 60 FPS, I believe it's going to last for a good 22 frames, or something close to that. And it only gives 22 SP. That's going to be not the lowest, I don't think. It might be the lowest. It's definitely one of the lowest, for sure. Next is going to be his air normal link, which is going to be a decent air-to-air string. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Apparently I can't land it. Let me just try the homing dash. There we go. Something like that. The second hit, I believe, can hit twice based on positioning, which is usually helped out by a homing dash. Which does some pretty decent damage. Yeah, it's when done during a dash. The first hit has an additional hit, which grants bonus damage and more time for him to combo. And then the final hit can be used as a combo ender if he doesn't have enough SP for some of his skills. And yeah, his dash attack will hit. The dash version will hit twice, which is pretty good to keep in mind. It's an extra good bit of damage. A good 700 damage off of a normal link, which is pretty good. And then his falling attack is arguably one of the worst. Not because it's like objectively bad, but it has almost no combo utility. It does strike pretty far below him, which is a positive, but it's not actually gonna do anything for his combo game whatsoever. He can somewhat approach with it, I guess, but like it's not the best, really. It doesn't really come out as fast as it could be to be used as an overhead, in a sense. Like Chester's could be, even though it's like a slow range, it's because of how fast it is. This is an instance where it's not fast enough, even if it's so strong. That's kind of whatever. Let's go ahead and go on to his skills. First off is going to be Whirlwind Cut. It's going to be his fastest attack, but he won't use it due to a gap between both hits, where the opponent can block and punish him. So in between the 2 hits, he can actually be blocked and punished. So it's not exactly a great move, but it is pretty fast. You can see how much time there is in between the first and the second hits. If they're not getting like launched into the air, they're kind of gotta be in a really good spot. Which most of the time it's not gonna launch them in the air. So there's that. Next is gonna be Swallower's turn, which is gonna be one of his best moves because it's a giant poke that launches the opponents on hit, which is going to let him get a combo for free. Obviously, using it multiple times in one combo is probably not gonna end up doing something for you, but it's really good for starting combos. That's worth. It does not really end combos or really continue, but they are really good for starting it. There are some instances with some moves that could be used pretty well for combos, but it's not the best combos he's got. Next is going to be his other skills. So we're going to go ahead and go out and check those skills out right now. Alright, so we have Silver Thorn, Zero Storm, Arc Drain, and Demon Flames. Arguably some of the strongest skills in the entire game. We'll go ahead and take a look at those. Gonna go ahead and get our resources first. They'll go ahead and start loading up in a second. Alright, we're all good now. Let's go ahead and take a look at Silver Thorn. This is basically gonna be a projectile that will cause confusion if it hits. It hits a wide range, but once it activates, they have a good 33 frames to get out. It does a pretty good damage. It has a wide range. Has a somewhat of a vacuum effect once it's already active, which lets it be a bit of a combo tool if you get it to hit. And because they'll be confused, it honestly leads into an advantageous state where they're going to be messed up for a bit with how they're moving. And more likely than not, people are not going to be like playing perfectly if they're running against the confusion status. Next up is going to be Zero Storm. A very slow, very long, very active projectile. It does lots of damage, which each hit has a chance to cause paralysis. It's hard to land, but if you do hit, the payoff is really huge. It's going to hit 5 times. More times in on the ground. It's divided into much more hits. I believe it's a good 15 hits, depending on the angle. Because sometimes you can like only get a few hits, but yeah. It really depends on, I think, how far away they are. Because sometimes you're getting 6 hits here, sometimes you're getting like 14. Like, yeah. It's a bit confusing how it's working here, but I'll take it. Maybe the closer you are, the more hits you're taking, it looks like. And it does have a bit of a suction effect. Yeah, every single hit has a chance to cause paralysis. Next is going to be Arc Drain, which is a very slow skill that's easily avoidable and hard to combo into. But it is actually kind of interesting because in more than 1v1s, like if there's more players than one, if you land this, you're actually going to go SP positive. Because what it does is it costs 50 SP, and for every target that it hits, you get 25 back. So if you hit 3 targets, you lose 50 to gain 75. It is still pretty decent, because it lasts for a very long time. It can actually be burst embargoed, and then you can combo out of it, or if you whiff it, and are able to actually get it off before, it becomes a walking projectile. For a long time, it will follow you. Meaning, you get a real crazy combo game with it. Of course, it's going to cost you 50 SP. But you have to like do your Arc Drain far away, and then be ready to get right in front of them. You can do some crazy stuff with it though once you get that going. It is pretty decent even in just 1v1s, but in FFAs it's even stronger. If he catches the opponent late enough, he'll be able to follow up with a combo, and also Burst Embargo is very strong with the move. And then finally, Demon Flames, one of the best, if not the best, skills in the game. It is the reason you play him. You are throwing if you do not use this Demon Flames. It's tied with Final Break for the most expensive skill in the game at 60 SP. However, it is the single most damaging non-extra skill attack in the entire game, and actually out-damages some extra skills. It has relatively quick startup, and has great range despite the animation. makes it his combo ender most of the time, and it will break an opponent's guard imminently, which makes it a must-have in his arsenal. But its SP cost makes it pretty hard to deal with a bit, but it's not really an issue whenever you're even though you have low SP gain from your charge attack. It's from halfway across the screen. It's relatively wide for what it's worth. So you hit 3 of these, and then try to get them into some confirm, and then you just demon flames them, and there you go. That's 15,000 damage. Sometimes even higher, because of how damaging it is. The scaling can vary a lot. On average, hitting it raw, it's gonna hit for a good 1800. Let's go ahead and talk about the extra skill. Sort of a bad thing. It will put anybody in range into a freeze, which basically means even if they're guarding, they will be put into the extra skill. In most instances not. They will have to flash guard. If they do not flash guard, they will the freeze will go through the guard, which will put them into the rest of it, which is going to let them cause a hard knockdown, which means you can combo Sword of Abaddon into a charge attack into Demon Flames for a relatively free 4,000 damage. Which is very strong, if it wasn't obvious. He has so much potential as a character. I'd say he's one of the better characters of the game, but that's an opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. But I do think he's amazing. Not the best character in the game or anything, but he's pretty strong. Let's go ahead and talk about some suggested supports. Let's start with taking a look right over here. I would say one of his best supports is going to be Olha, because his combos are relatively short, so dropping combos isn't actually going to be an issue for the extra damage over his Mustafa. She pairs pretty well if coupled with Medusa Blade, if Medusa Blade is legal for you, because that's going to be big damage. Next is going to be Reese. His biggest weakness is his SP gain. So this is going to mitigate that issue. So it's a pretty good option. And then there's going to be Yuri on Chris, which lets him break shields even harder so that he is able to possibly farm some SP real quick. Or get a combo off of it. Pretty good. I think if you're running Zero Storm, Campanella can also be a pretty good option, but otherwise I would not recommend it. And his extra skill is very, very good, so Sigrun, Fade and Rhea are options. Let's go ahead and talk about his weaknesses. If you are running with accessories, he has low AP. He has the lowest AP value in the game at 16, which means he has very little accessory space. He has poor SP economy because he has the hardest time managing SP with one of the lowest SP gains with a charge attack and very expensive skills. And he has a very high skill floor. It's technically not really a weakness, but like he's pretty hard to actually learn to a degree that he's actually good. Like newer Loewe players are gonna have a harder time than like newer other character players, but the ceiling is also pretty high too. You have to like basically like really know what you're doing. But yeah, if this video made you want to play Loewe, that is exactly what we're going for. That's great. And if you watch the whole thing and you think, Loewe's not for me, that's fine. Going through this whole video means that you've helped boost in the algorithm, and it might show it to people that want to play Loewe or don't even know about East vs. Trails in the Sky and they get introduced. So thank you for doing that, alongside possibly liking, commenting, and subscribing. And stay tuned for the next and final video for our character Overlook guides, because the last one is going to be Loewe. Until then, see ya.